Hello everyone. Sorry for my attire. This is my accountancy attire. This is what I do in my end of year accounting. Which brings me on to today's video subject. The bike awards for the tax year 2021 to 2022. Okay, it seems a bit of a weird thing to celebrate, but myself, like many people, have uh, breathing a sigh of relief after surviving yet another tax year. And as we go into April, it's generally when we start thinking about making our big purchases. So, first of all, disclaimer: this is just my opinion. You can always add in the comments what you think you would buy or what you would recommend for these categories. And these categories largely I've just made up. It's all a bit of fun. Anyway, let's get on with it. So, first of all, the I just want a bike award. So this award, it goes to the bike where you would recommend to somebody who really doesn't know what they're going to be riding, but they know it's going to be off road. So, it might be a bit of XC, bit of trail riding, bit of bike park, bit of downhill. Who knows? The person doesn't. But they've got some cash after the tax year and they want to buy something. So for this one, it goes personally for me, just saying, goes to the Saracen Aerial 30. So in its cheap guys, 21.99 it was last year. So yeah, £2,199. Not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things when you look at the spec. 130mm full source front and back, half decent components across it. So yeah, I can't think of anything which fits the I need a generic off-road bike better. It's not going to be the fastest thing across XC or the most brilliant thing downhill, but it's like the golf of the bike world. It does everything. Just it isn't the best of any particular category. And at the price, you really can't complain. You can buy a slightly posher one for 3 grand in red, and the colour's nice. But to be honest, I'd probably buy the £2,200 one. Not save the money, not save the 800 quid, but spend it on a few choice upgrades like bar and stem, the saddle, some decent pedals, brakes, and probably extend the fork out to 140mm. Hey, that's my opinion. So, what if £2,200 is a lot of money and you were looking at more a grand? Well, how about the Ragged Big Al? Okay, it hasn't got a floppy back end, which moves with the trail, but if you're looking for something to do XC on, some trail riding, maybe some light downhill work, you just want to go cycling with your mates and you don't really know what type of cycling that's going to be. You know what? Ragged Big Al in its version 2, guys, not a bad bike, and especially for 1100 quid. If you want to spend a bit more, yeah, they do a slightly posher version. Again, the Ragley Big Al one, big wig, but at that point you're getting very, very close to just buying a Saracen Aerial 30. So, what about supplies of consumable bits? So, yeah, mountain biking, you get through a lot of bits which are designed to wear and tear. That can be things like brakes, hoses, cable inners and outers, um, a tyre sealant if you want to go tubeless, that sort of thing, rim tape. All this stuff mounts up. And you know what? I've been more impressed with the stuff I get from Uber Bike Components every time I order. So, yeah, if you're looking at bits for your bike, I'm not talking about brand new stems and all the rest of it because they don't sell that. But just I've gone through my pads. I need I don't know, new bottom bracket, tyre sealant, that sort of thing. Give Uber bike components a try. I've been very, very impressed with them. So brings me on to what do I think the best thing I've bought in this tax year? And it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Quite a wide gamut, but let's focus on bike related stuff. And I would have to say that probably the best thing I bought. I'm in two minds. I mean, I really am. One was my trip to an elephant. That was great. Went with two good mates of mine, and it was a great time. And they got some killer stuff there. It is one of the bike meccas of the UK, and if you do like that sort of enduro downhill format type riding, just get yourself an Airbnb up there or a hotel room or whatever else, and book the adrenaline uplift. Absolute blast of a time. Um, but also, I'm very impressed with my coat that I bought. It's just a Madison item, which I bought from Freewill, and it's been absolutely brilliant. It's quite robust because I keep falling off, and you know what it's like new. Every time I wash it, it comes out like new. It's got those zip things in which let air in or not, depending on how cold it is and how sweaty you are. Really, really, really comfortable. Very light. It's just as bits of clothing go, yeah, it's really up there. I'm not saying that all of their clothing range is great. To be honest, I found their trousers they don't fit properly, and unless you're short and fat, they might fit properly then. I'm slightly taller and fat. They don't fit me properly in terms of the sizing that they specify. Um, but yeah, you know what, the coat's absolutely brilliant. Their gloves are pretty good as well. So what's the best fork upgrade? I would recommend people, and look, honestly, the forks are generally quite good, especially if you're buying manufacturer top tier items. And if you're buying a top tier Fox, RockShox, Olin's, even Suntour fork, you're going to get a half decent fork. But look, for me, the absolute best fork out there, especially for me at the moment, is the Fox 38 with the Grip 2 damper. And look, I've you know, with my own hard-earned cash, bought a few of these for different bikes, and honestly, yeah, tuning them can be a bit of a pain. There can be quite a long tuning cycle, and as I've said in a previous video, I tend to use Shockwiz to help with the high speed compression and the high speed rebound because otherwise it takes forever to try and tune them in. But I'll tell you what, once you're there, once you're you know you've got your settings, there's nothing better. Um, Seriously, I mean, okay, an EXT shock or sorry, a fork might be better um, if you are willing to go through the extra money and the additional overheads of getting somebody else to effectively tune it and build that fork for you. So if you really want to go through that process, I might one day. But you know, if you just want to grab a fork off the shelf, smack it on your bike, start going through your tuning process, willing to put some time into your tuning process, then look, you know, there's nothing better than the Fox 38 with the Grip 2 damper. Or the Grip 2 damper in any fork, to be honest. And yeah, I know there's going to be some people who think the RockShox Zeb or the Olin's blah 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 38 stanchion fork is also good. Look, personal opinions again. Honestly, I don't think you'll get the results out of a RockShox RC2 damper that you'll get out of a Grip 2 damper. But you know, personal preference again. What I would say though is Kashima, take it or leave it. To be honest, one of those things. I've got Fox 38 in the factory Kashima coating and in the Performance Elite black coating. The Kashima coating will be slightly harder wearing, I mean tiny slightly, so you might avoid over a longer period of time very very small marks to the stanchions, but look, there isn't a lot in it to be honest. So I suppose the one that everybody really wanted to know in the last tax year was what was the best e-bike, and quite frankly, it's the one you could get hold of. They were selling like absolute hotcakes, e-bikes, especially in the cheaper category. Now, I probably wouldn't have gone the cheaper. I know a lot of people were going on about that whole Decathlon, whatever it is, e-bike you could get for 2,800 quid. And quite frankly, and let's face it, it was an £800 bike with a motor attached to it. It's not a great bike per se, but if that's the sort of thing that suited your needs, great, that's what you'd buy. And I personally think the sweet spot in the e-bike market last year was the £5,000 to £6,000 range, and there were some great bikes that came out in that range. Nuke Proof, you know, some great e-bikes in that range. Vitus, even the Saracen Saracen Aerial Pro 50E that I bought was right in the middle of that £5.5 grand range, and you got some pretty decent components for that. So yeah, you know, it's a bit hard to recommend a specific e-bike, but yeah, I think we were all very much spoilt for choice in terms of models. If you could get hold of one. But look, that concludes. So you want to disagree with anything I've said in this wrap up of the 2021-2022 tax year? Feel free, put it in the comments below. Keep it respectful, please. Other than that, take care of yourselves. Thank you. Bye.